If you're a man over 40 and you live alone, something has already happened to you. Something most people around you haven't noticed yet. And honestly, something most men don't even realize has happened to themselves. It's not damage. It's not loneliness. It's not what they warned you about. It's something quieter than that. And by the end of this, you're going to recognize it, because you're going to see yourself in every single one of these 5 things. But here's what I need you to understand before we get into it. The 5th one on this list is the one that changes everything. It's the one that separates the men who came out of solitude stronger from the ones who are still waiting to feel okay. So stay with me. Let's start with the first thing. You've stopped explaining yourself, not in an arrogant way, not in a cold way, but you've noticed, haven't you, that at some point you just stopped. You stopped justifying why you prefer your evenings quiet. You stopped defending your diet, your schedule, your choices to people who didn't ask and wouldn't understand anyway. You stopped softening your opinions to make rooms more comfortable. Here's why that matters. Most men spend decades performing, not lying, performing. There's a version of you that exists in public, and a version that exists when the door closes and nobody's watching. For most men, those 2 versions are very different people. But something happens when you live alone long enough. The audience disappears. And when the audience disappears, the performance becomes pointless. So it stops. And what's left, the man underneath the performance, starts to become the only version of you that exists. That's not isolation doing damage to you. That's solitude doing surgery. The men who haven't experienced this still exhaust themselves managing perception. You watch them in conversations, carefully monitoring how their words are landing, adjusting in real time, shrinking or expanding based on the room's reaction. They are burning enormous energy just to exist in public. You don't do that anymore, and you probably didn't even notice when it stopped. That's sign number 1, and it connects directly to sign number 2, which is where things start to get interesting. Your standards have quietly become non-negotiable, not your standards for other people, your standards for your own environment, your own space, your own peace. Here's what nobody tells you about living alone. When you are the only person responsible for your surroundings, your nervous system starts to recalibrate around calm, around order, around the specific personal version of peace that only you know how to build. The temperature in your home, the sounds in the evening, the way your kitchen looks on a Sunday morning. These things stop being background details and start becoming deeply personal. They become extensions of you. And once your system learns what peace actually feels like, not the peace you're told to want, but the peace that genuinely quiets the noise inside you, it starts to reject everything that threatens it with a clarity that surprises even you. A man at 55 told me something I haven't forgotten. He said, "I used to think I was easygoing. Then I lived alone for 2 years and realized I wasn't easygoing. I was just tolerating things I never should have tolerated. That's the shift. That's what's happened to you. You're not difficult. You're not rigid. You have simply experienced the baseline, the actual baseline of what your life feels like when it's running on your own terms. And now anything that pulls you below that baseline registers immediately. This is refinement, not damage. Remember that. But here's what this creates, and this is the part most men don't see coming. You've become deeply, almost unnervingly comfortable in silence. I want you to think about the last time you sat in a completely quiet room and felt nothing but settled. No restlessness, no urge to reach for your phone, no background anxiety looking for something to attach itself to. Just quiet. Most people cannot do that. Most people experience silence as an absence, something missing, something wrong. You experience it as a texture, almost as a presence. Here's why that's significant. The ability to sit with silence without needing to fill it is one of the clearest indicators of internal stability that exists. Therapists know this. People who study behavior know this. The men and women who are most at peace with themselves are the ones who can be alone with their own thoughts without immediately trying to escape them. You've been training for that without knowing it. Every quiet evening, every morning without noise. Every hour you spent inside your own head because there was no one else's head to be inside, that was training. and the result of that training is a man whose internal world is no longer a place he needs to flee from. There's a catch, though, and this is where it gets complicated. That same comfort with silence, that same stillness, can look like distance to the people around you. It can look like unavailability, like you've gone somewhere they can't reach, and you have to decide whether that's their misunderstanding of you, or a sign that you've closed a door you didn't mean to close. We'll come back to that, because it connects directly to sign number 4. Your relationship with time has completely transformed. This one is harder to explain, but you'll know exactly what I mean. When you live with other people, time is never fully yours. It exists in a shared space, constantly being negotiated, interrupted, redirected. Your hours are always partially spoken for, by someone else's schedule, someone else's needs, someone else's mood. When that ends, something almost disorienting happens in the beginning. You look at a Saturday morning and there is nothing and no one making any claim on it. And for some men, that first wave of total freedom feels wrong. Like waiting for something to go wrong, like the quiet before something breaks. But the men who push through that, who resist the urge to fill the space immediately with busyness or noise or people, those men discover something remarkable. They discover what they actually want, not what they're supposed to want, not what makes them look productive or responsible or admirable, what they genuinely, quietly, privately want to spend their hours on. For some men, it's building something with their hands. For others, it's reading everything they never got to. For others, it's physical transformation. For some, it's simply sitting outside in the morning and watching the light change without anyone needing something from them. Whatever it is for you, you've found it. And now you protect that time with something close to ferocity. Not selfishly, but because you've learned through direct experience that uninterrupted time is where your best self lives, and wasting it, handing it over to things and people who don't respect it, now feels like a genuine loss in a way it never did before. That is not you becoming withdrawn. That is you having finally understood the value of what you possess. But now we need to talk about the 5th sign, because this is the one. You've stopped needing to be understood by everyone. Stay with me here, because this is more nuanced than it sounds, and the distinction I'm about to make is the one that determines whether solitude has truly changed you for the better, or whether it's quietly built a wall you've started calling a personality. Most men spend their entire lives trying to be understood. They over-explain their decisions. They justify choices to people who never asked. They edit themselves in real time to avoid being misread. They spend enormous amounts of energy trying to make sure the version of them that exists in other people's minds is accurate. A man who has lived alone long enough stops doing this. Not because he's given up on connection, not because he's closed himself off, but because he's spent enough time in his own company that he's developed a relationship with himself that doesn't require external confirmation. He knows who he is. He knows why he made the choices he made. He knows what he values and what he's willing to protect. And that knowledge, held quietly, held with certainty, held without needing a single person to agree with it, is enough. He does not need your approval of his life. He is not arrogant about this. He is simply settled. Now here's the part I promised I'd come back to. That settled quality, that stillness, that absence of neediness, is one of the most quietly powerful things a human being can possess. People sense it immediately. They can't always name what they're sensing, but what they feel is the complete absence of desperation, the complete absence of that low-grade hunger that most people carry when their sense of self depends on someone else's reflection of them. But, and this is critical, there is a version of this that is strength and a version that is armor, and they can look identical from the outside. The strength version is a man who is complete in himself and open to adding to that completeness. A man who doesn't need connection but genuinely welcomes it when it's real. A man whose door isn't locked, it's just selective. The armor version is a man who has mistaken numbness for peace, who has told himself he's fine alone because the alternative requires a vulnerability he's not sure he can access anymore, who has built such a perfectly ordered life that the thought of another person disturbing it, even in the beautiful ways another person can disturb a life, has started to feel like a threat. Only you know which one you are, and only you can be honest about the answer.